Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to a $900 gaming PC build. Somebody requested that I do this in one of my previous videos, so I figured here it is. I haven't done a $900 build in a little bit. I think my last one was early May, so it has been a little bit since I've done a $900 build. So with that being said, let's get straight into this with the CPU. For the CPU, I went with the AMD FX 8350 4.0 GHz, 4.2 GHz turbo, socket AM3+. It's 125 watts, runs on AM3+, and I also got this with a combo deal on Newegg. There's a combo deal with the 8350 and the Western Digital WD Blue 1TB, and it basically combines the price of the two, subtracted by $13. So you save a little bit of money right there. I think that's a pretty good value since any Joe Schmo that lives in the States can get that. So yeah, that's a pretty good value right there to get both of those and get $13 off. Now, for the CPU, I couldn't fit in a Hyper 212 in this budget, but I would highly recommend that you guys do splurge and get the extra 20 and spend the extra $20 to $30 to get the Hyper 212 Evo. Not necessarily for overclocking, but just to keep your CPU cool, because AMD does have a tendency to pack in really garbage CPU coolers. I mean, they work, they'll get the job done, but sometimes your CPU will run hot, and it's just better to have a Hyper 212. But the CPU itself, the FX 8350, is a really solid CPU, and it's extremely good for multimedia applications such as video editing, Photoshop, live streaming, things like that. The FX 8350 really excels at. So if you're going to be doing other things than just gaming, I mean, this is really awesome for gaming too, but things like video editing, this is a really good budget way to have a really capable video editing system, so you don't have to, you know, get an i7 3960 or something like that for $1,000 or $600, or even the i7 3770K, which is about $350, $340, and this is a very budget-friendly CPU, and it's going to work great for the build, especially in games, but also for video editing, live streaming, which I know a lot of people are getting into that. So figure in this kind of a budget for $900, an FX 8350 is really the way to go, especially with future consoles having 8-core CPUs, although the power of those 8-core CPUs is still in question. We don't know how powerful they are, but they still do have 8 cores, making developers utilizing multi-core technology. So probably in the next 6 months to a year, we're going to be seeing a lot of more gamers flocking to the 8-core CPU that AMD has. For the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte GA990FX-UD3. This is $128. A lot of good features, including 4 RAM slots up to 2000 OC RAM. So while I went with 8 GB of RAM in this build, and we'll get into that in a second, you do have upgradability options. Also, you have the option to go Crossfire or SLI in this motherboard, although the power supply I picked doesn't have the capability of do that, but I'll explain that as we move on. But this is a really good motherboard for the build for only $128. It's going to get the job done, and really budget end motherboard, but it's really that midline. I shouldn't say it's a budget motherboard, but this is really midline, and it's going to work really well for the build. I was talking about the RAM earlier, so for the RAM, I went with G.Skill Ripjaws X Series 8 GB, two 4 GB sticks running at 1866 speed. This is about $70. No reason to go for 16 GB, especially in this kind of a more, you know, smaller budget, but, you know, not extremely small. But yeah, 8 GB is going to work perfectly fine, and again, the motherboard does have the capability to go 16 GB. So down the line, if you do want to have 16 GB of RAM, all you're going to have to do is buy another kit of this 8 GB of RAM, and you'll be good to go. You'll just pop the RAM in. 16 GB, voila, but 8 GB for now. I mean, most games only require 4 GB, so having 8 GB to some extent is overkill, but for the price, $70, perfect fit for the budget. For the graphics card, I went with the Sapphire Radeon HD 7970. Newegg has a really awesome price on this because this is $350. There's a 10% off promo code, so that docks it down to about $315, and then there's a $20 off mail-in rebate, so you're really getting the card for like $290. Holy shit, ridiculous deal. Grab this when you can, while you can, I mean, but because I don't know how long this offer is going to last, but that is a crazy good deal for the 7970, especially because it's a 3 GB card, really good cooling solution, so overclocking is an option to make this card even more beastlier. Is that even a word, beastlier? Who cares? But it'll make it more beastlier than it already is, and off the bat, it's pretty beast, and it has 3 GB of video buffer, so even at higher resolutions like 2560 by 1440, this graphics card is going to work really well, so highly recommend this graphics card, especially for the ridiculous price that it's at now. I mean, to a degree, it's competing with the GTX 760 rather than the GTX 770, so the 7970, really good value right there, and the cooling solution's awesome, and overclocking this is going to make it a beast. For the power supply, I went with the Corsair Enthusiast Series TX650, 650 watt, 80 plus bronze certified for about $70. Now, This isn't going to be able to Crossfire or SLI the graphics card. You guys know what I always think about that. I think if you do want to get a more powerful graphics solution, you should just sell the graphics card that you already have and then get something that would meet your expectations. That's what I personally recommend. But some people do like to Crossfire or SLI, and if you do want to, you can get a TX 750 or a TX 850, and that's about $10 to $20 more expensive, depending on which one you get. That will allow you to Crossfire or SLI, so you probably want to go with that if you are one of those customers that are looking to Crossfire or SLI. For the hard drive, like I said, the hard drive was packed in with the CPU in a combo deal, so we got $13 off. I went with the Western Digital WD Blue 1TB. Really solid hard drive, no SSD in this build. If you guys already have a hard drive from a previous build that you can salvage, you can skip the hard drive entirely, or you can get a 60GB SSD or 120GB SSD, depending on what your budget will allow. In this case, it's $900, so you're probably going to want to go with the 60GB SSD. Finally, for the case, Cooler Master Half 912. Always recommend this case. I mean, there are other cases, but cases is something that it's really more up to you, because everyone are going to be very fickle about their case because everyone has different tastes on how a case looks. So that's really up to you. Just shop around for cases. I'm going to put in the Half 912 in this build since it's my favorite case, but you know, it's getting really drawn out because I keep using the Half 912 in these more budget end builds from $500 to $900. So if you guys want to get something else, some other cases that I recommend, the Roswell Challenger is pretty good. The Cooler Master Elite 430 is pretty good if you want a side panel. So those are a couple more options if you guys want to go with something else other than the Half 912, which I constantly recommend. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Remember to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys later with the next build and the next video, and peace.